without a care for the misfortune that has visited the Jadhav family, and just a day after Pakistan's gravest provocation on record, some Indian netas and intellectuals shared a dais with our enemies' arrogant envoys. This cozy club of self-professed seminarists defended their decision to sip tea with the enemy in the interest of civilized discourse, they said. Listen to some of the reactions that we got from them.
Don't you think that you should boycott this event, sir?
Not at all.
Why?
The need of the hour is dialogue.
That penalty has been awarded by Pakistan. It will not be implemented. That is my hope. You live with my hope rather than with the threat.
But sir, what about Kulbhushan Jadhav? He also remains an important topic, sir. Today,
I have come to speak on Pakistan-India relations. Okay.
what will be the legal aspect?
Amnesty International.
Listen.
Amnesty International. Sir, Amnesty International. Should we go to Amnesty International?
Yes, you will go ultimately to the international court.
I have authority. I may go tomorrow or day after tomorrow to Pakistan. I'll go and take up Jadhav's case before the Supreme Court. I'm confident.
Organize such programs and create a climate of trust and confidence so that the relations can be improved.
Upfront, I condemn these so-called peaceniks for giving our enemies a podium. I want to ask these individuals, how can there be civilized discourse with a country that actually rejects all notions of civility? Here are hard facts to prove the notion that I am tonight going to put out for debate. Hard fact 1. Pak sentences Jadhav to death on the basis of mere confessions. No additional evidence, no other requisite proof, only a confession. Can you imagine? You can whip someone to confess. Do you hang him? The trial is so secret that even Pakistan's parliament was in the dark. Yes, Pakistan's parliament also did not know that an Indian innocent had been condemned to death by the military. Hard fact 3. Look how uncivilized Pakistan is. Pak envoy calls Jadhav a terrorist when he has been convicted for espionage. How can a spy be also a terrorist and a terrorist also be a spy? Think about it. Again, not the actions of a civilized country. So when these peaceniks say that they were talking in the interest of furthering civilized discourse, they need to think hard who they are talking to, because the other side, these enemies of India, have no respect for civility. Hard fact 4. Pakistan sets unacceptable preconditions to deny India consular access to Jadhav. Consular access which is guaranteed under Geneva Conventions. Everyone, as we know, deserves a defense. This country, Pakistan doesn't believe in civility. And therefore tonight, we need to ask some of our liberal friends, some of our Dove friends, why they went there. Why did they go to this conference with the enemy? Joining me this evening, Vinod Sharma, senior journalist, who's also an active member of the Track 2 process. Saifuddin Soz, former union minister, also there with us. He was one of the attendees today at this gathering of notables. A.S. Dulat, former chief, research and analysis wing, RNAW. He had a conversation with me in the morning. He said that he would attend but then backed out at the last moment, which I am thankful that he did, and I'm glad, sir, that you did. I'm sure you'll tell me that you couldn't find the time, but nonetheless, I'm glad you kept away, sir. Also with us, Colonel RSN, defense analyst, with us this evening. I want to ask you first, sir, Mr. Dulat, why did you decide, sir, to stay away from this August gathering, sir, called by our enemies?
It was not called by any enemy. It was called by Mr. O.P. Shah, and he's by no stretch of imagination an enemy of anybody's. And
well, sir,
it was called about a month ago.
Braves
and
who are fighting in the valley to establish a secure zone for this country. He's certainly an enemy of those individuals, sir, who are.
I don't think, Rahul, I don't think you understand what is happening in the valley. So let's forget about the valley for the time being, you know. What is happening in the valley? If you want to talk about the valley, what is happening in the valley is already disgraced, if you ask me, you know.
On whose part?
What is happening in the valley? Do you know the number of people who've been killed? On whose part? I'm talking about Kashmiris who've been killed.
Sir, do you know how many security forces have been killed, sir? Do you know how many security forces have been maimed? Do you know how they are taunted? Let me play out a video, sir. I just want to play out a video.
I have a fair...
How can you say it's a disgrace? Pakistan sponsors...
I have a fair idea, but this...
And there are politicians called Farooq Abdullah who call them nationalists, sir. Do you agree? Look at these pictures. Look at these pictures, sir, on your screen. I don't know if you can see them. This is how our braves are treated. I can't see any pictures that you are showing. People are kicking their helmets. People are trying to trip them, kicking them on their shins and ankles. Look at the way they've kicked the helmet of one of our braves. They come up from behind. They insult, abuse, heckle. I can even lift the volume on this.
Do you know how many Kashmiris were blinded last summer?
Sir, do you know how many of our Jawans were maimed, sir, last summer and continue to be maimed, sir, and killed by the brutal Pakistani agents in the valley who come and ambush them? Let's talk, sir. You want to have a conversation? Let's have this conversation.
I don't buy this propaganda. I'm sorry to say.
It's not propaganda. It's a fact. Are you saying,
sir?
Yeah,
we'll have this conversation.
No, is it a fact, sir, that our braves are also attacked?
It is propaganda.
No, our braves are not attacked. That's propaganda. But when...
Of course they are attacked.
Well then...
Of course they are attacked.
How is it propaganda?
Of course they are attacked.
How is it propaganda?
When did I say they were not attacked? I am talking about unarmed civilians and children being shot or maimed or blinded.
So they're not unarmed.
Does this happen anywhere else in the country?
The Prime Minister, no less, has come out and said they're armed with stones.
They are unarmed.
And they surround our men when they're carrying out anti-terror ops. And then they pelt stones at them.
If there are people pelting stones, you shoot them down, is it?
Not really. Not really.
So
none of them. No, hang on.
The response to stone pelting.
Sir, I don't know. Have you ever felt the blows of 50 stones at one time?
Stone pelting is that you shoot down people.
Who's asked them to be on the streets when an anti-terror operation is being conducted? Why are they there? Why does their heart bleed for terrorists, sir? I'm asking you. Burhan Wani is killed. You don't justify the killing of Burhan Wani? I'm asking you, sir.
I didn't say anything, nothing about Burhan Wani, did I?
Well, sir, they are there because the terrorist was put to death, and I'm glad he was. And I hope all of them are.
You're talking of Burhan Wani suddenly.
And I hope they are all done, sir, because these individuals came out there to protest the killing of Burhan Wani, who's a terrorist who has maimed innocent Kashmiris.
That is the kind of conversation you want to have with me, Rahul. I think you got the wrong guy on your show, you know.
No, it's not that, sir. I'm only asking you a simple question. You said that there's a disgrace going on in the valley. So I took off on that, and I want to ask you, what is the disgrace?
You said something to me this morning. Now you got on to a tangent.
Not at all.
You're talking about Kashmir from Pakistan to Kashmir and Kashmir to Pakistan.
I'm only questioning.
And you were talking about peaceniks and whatever.
You told me it's a disgrace.
India is a free country. We are entitled to our opinions.
Okay, you are entitled to your opinion.
Is this bloody Hitler's India or what? What are you talking about?
I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Dulat.
Of course I am.
No, of course you are. I'm not denying it.
What did you want to ask me?
Mr. Dulat, let me just ask you a simple question.
Then why did you say that? Why was I going for this meeting? And
it's a fair point.
The reason I didn't attend that meeting, or I couldn't attend that meeting, is because I made a commitment to Karan Thapar that I would be with him at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
That's why.
So you would have gone had you not had a commitment.
Not because I backed out. Why would I back out?
So 1 second. So you would have gone. You would have gone.
That's right.
Okay. You would have gone. You wouldn't have minded having a conversation.
I did go, and I left there at 5:30.
Okay. You wouldn't have minded going and having a conversation with an individual. 1 second,
Rahul,
sir. Let me finish.
I have a conversation with everybody.
Let me finish.
You know,
Even if that individual declares Mr. Jadhav
for the last Yeah, last 9 years.
Sir, 1 second. Even if that individual declares Mr. Jadhav to be a terrorist, you have no qualms with that. Even though without following the due process of law, an innocent Indian is going to be hanged, you have no problem with that, right? No problem. It doesn't matter. Jadhav's family can cry buckets,
Did I say that?
but not a problem.
Did I say
I'm only
that?
asking you.
Did I say?
Because the question is not about talks. The question is about timing.
Right. You're not asking me, or you're asking me leading questions. You're providing the answer yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Did
Let me ask somebody else leading questions as you accuse me of asking.
I said...
Colonel RSN.
Yeah,
Colonel
I
RSN.
think you should ask somebody else.
Okay, let me ask you.
Yes.
Colonel RSN, tell me, I'm asking you, should netas and liberals have sipped tea with Pak's envoy and hawks? On the back of Pakistan's gravest provocation, 24 hours haven't passed, and we are holding talks to further the spirit of civilized discourse with a country that doesn't believe in civility at any level. Simple question. It's a leading one. And I'm proud to ask you a leading question.
You know, with due regards to Dulat sir, he was my boss when I served in RANW. In fact, he was the one who inducted me into the organization. And well, if I have no quarrels with anybody, except for the fact that I think we are, you know, with time, maybe there is a difference between our mindset and mindsets of, you know, maybe one generation ahead, previous generation. And that mindset is that, you know, you still manage to look Pakistan and Kashmir with a different prism. Now look at a simple fact, you know, what, you know, about 6 to 7% turnout. I mean, I look at it the other way, that if people residing in 7.2% of the area, or out of that one constituency, if 7% people have, you know, voted, or is the voting percentage, I think it is a reason to celebrate. I mean, those 7% people, living in the kind of intimidation and threat of Wahhabism, I mean, if they have come out of their homes and voted, they should be identified, and they are our heroes of democracy, for God's sake. Where none of your, let me tell you, unless someone is from Kashmir Valley, no Indian television channel has a reporter reporting on Kashmir. That is the level of intimidation. So therefore, if 7% people have voted, this is despite the wave of Wahhabism, this is despite Pakistan, this is despite Lashkar-e-Toiba, and this is despite Abdullahs, this is despite Muftis, these are despite. Let me tell you, the biggest culprits there, even more than separatists, are Abdullahs and Muftis. If they had wanted, if they had the moral authority, which they never had, if they had the character, they would have changed the discourse of Kashmir. But these fellows, I'm telling you, I still hold that they are worse than the militants. They are worse than the Hurriyat people. These are the people who have enjoyed homes, perks, privileges here in India and in London.
Saifuddin Soz,
and let me tell you, Rahul, I can tell you one yardstick of measuring any official, integrity of any official, his national feeling, is that how many times he visits London. And these scoundrels are there every month. They first, light up the valley.
There you hear it.
And then they move.
A diametrically opposite view.
So these are the people who are the
on the back of a leading question. Let me ask another leading question of Saifuddin Soz.
Generations have enjoyed power.
Wasn't this chai meeting with Pakistan envoy that calls Kulbhushan a terrorist without following the due process of law and insults her?
You see,
an insult to the family of Kulbhushan that is today
listen to me, first
pleading for justice.
First of all,
simple question.
Is this question for me?
Yes, for you, sir.
Rahul, you must know that you were trying to put words into Mr. Dulat's mouth. You have posed your question, now you listen to me and keep quiet, because otherwise I will leave these boys who worked very hard to get me in. You must know that the present atmosphere between India and Pakistan is that of animosity. So therefore, they will announce and do things which will irritate Indians. You must have mental aplomb and understand. Kulbhushan, my assessment is that Kulbhushan Jadhav's execution has been announced, and I hope, and I can prove it tomorrow, that he won't be executed, because this may turn out to be a rhetoric. We wish him well, and he will one day return to India. As far the other question is concerned, you can pose that question, but you must know, Rahul, you must allow people, your guests, to speak. You were trying to put words into mouth of Dulat. He's an experienced senior citizen, and he has a lot of experience. He knows Kashmir in and out. He knows whole of India.
With the Pakistani envoy, a travesty. Isn't it a reward for the worst kind of behavior, intimidation, what have you? And most importantly, isn't it an insult, sir, to his family? A man who is declared Kulbhushan a terrorist, you are holding talks with that person.
Now,
answer that question.
You must understand, Kasuri is a friend of India, is a friend of Pakistan, because he is a Pakistani citizen. But he is not enemy of India. Read his book. Neither
I don't care about books, sir. I only know about his time in office. And that time in office was marked by hostility.
You must understand.
He served under an individual who plotted Kargil.
Hostility is between India and Pakistan at government level. At people's level, there is no hostility.
He served under an individual who set the template for 2611. Sir, I don't need you to give. I don't need you to give certificates to Mr. Kasuri. If that was the attitude, then you're really doing a disservice. But let me ask you this question. You said...
You don't know, Rahul.
That Kulbhushan...
You must widen your horizon and understand who Kasuri is.
I don't care about Kasuri, sir. You might want to worship the ground he walks on. For me, he's an enemy of this country. I don't care about Kasuri. He's out.
Listen to me.
He's finished.
Who is
Kasuri?
Cry horse.
Who's Kasuri?
I am your guest. You listen to me.
I am asking you a question.
Listen to
I'm asking you a question. You say that Pakistan tries to irritate us. Sir, this is not... handing out a death sentence to an Indian citizen is not an irritation, sir. It's a travesty. It's a travesty which needs to be condemned.
You talk too much.
Condemn it.
You talk too much on the channel yourself. I am your guest. You talk too much on the channel. You keep quiet, I will tell you. I say Pakistan is an enemy country, because such is the atmosphere today. But for tomorrow, I can tell you that my hope, even prayer, is that Kulbhushan Jadhav will not be executed. I am telling you.
Pakistan he will be rotting, sir, for the rest of his life in jail.
Care for the sentiment of
we saw what happened. We saw what happened, sir, with some of the other great patriots who were arrested and hanged.
Indian,
Sarabjit is one, just one. There have been several others. So let's not. So please, please. I'm sorry. An Indian citizen, an innocent Indian, has been abducted by Pakistan. He's stewing in jail. He's been given the death sentence, and you're telling me that just because he's not going to be hanged, we should be absolutely magnanimous and grateful to Pakistan. That's a crying shame.
You are not a reasonable
1 second. I want to bring in Mr. Vinod Sharma also. 1 second. Let's bring in Mr. Vinod Sharma on this point. He's a seasoned journalist. He's obviously gone there with a lot of thought. He's been part of the track too. I know I want to broaden this debate. Let's broaden this, sir. Let's broaden it. Can, sir, someone like Vinod Sharma, sir, can I ask you a question? 1 second, Mr. Soz. Can I ask you, sir, can you justify this meeting claiming that it's in the interest of civilized discourse? Tell me, sir, how would you justify this in the interest of civilized discourse with an enemy state that doesn't believe in civility or civilized norms?
Organized it.
Sharma Saab, bataiye, sir.
You talk too much. You talk too much. You don't listen to your guests.
No.
It is Indian national O.P. Shah who organized this meeting. And Kasuri is most welcome in India because he is a voice of reason. You must know. You asked
Mr. Sharma.
Atalji who Kasuri is.
Mr. Sharma. Go ahead.
May I say one thing, Rahul?
On a serious plane, you know, the invitation for this meeting was received by me about a month back. And in fact, you know, by mistake, I landed up there yesterday, thinking that the meeting was yesterday, but actually it was today. And yesterday, as was pointed out by Manishankar here during the discussion, it was his birthday. And Kasuri actually wanted to join up Manishankar Iyer on his birthday and besides be a part of this seminar. Now, Mr. Kasuri was the foreign minister of Pakistan when Atal Bihari Vajpayee signed that memorandum of understanding with Musharraf on January 6, 2004, and I was a witness to that. I've been to Pakistan with Atal Bihari Vajpayee to Minar-e-Pakistan. I covered the Agra summit. I have been posted there for 4 years. I keep a close watch on that country. Now, there at the seminar, there was an appeal. You see, Mr. Kasuri holds no position today in the government there. He's just a former foreign minister. And an appeal was made to him. He was asked, actually, Mr. Saifuddin Soz is forgetting that it was perhaps him who said that he must go and tell his government that the death sentence against Kulbhushan Jadhav should be annulled. And I myself, my first reaction to that, which I articulated at another channel yesterday, was that this is proof of the fact that the democracy in Pakistan is sham. Because these kind of judgments, these kind of decisions don't come from democracies, they come from dictators. And the fact that the COAS of Pakistan appended his signature on the death sentence proves that his writ far overweighs than that of the civilian government. Now, my point is that if Kulbhushan Jadhav has to be saved from the gallows, and if he is innocent, then we'll have to give diplomacy a chance.
Right.
We'll have to give it a chance, no?
70 years.
So I think
diplomacy a chance, sir.
No, I know, but
70 years earlier,
no, but you know,
we allowed the
forget
United
70
Nations
years.
a say to decide what turned out to be one of the most intractable land grab problems that India has ever faced. 70 years, sir. Many, many occasions, many starts, many conversations, many tea parties, many jappi-pappi bilateral occasions, many, you know, asides, pull-asides. Where did it lead us, sir? What has it got us? What has it got us?
May I say one thing?
Where has it got us?
Rahul, with all the respect at my command, may I tell you, you are doing the easy job today, you know. In today's world, it is very, very easy to wage a war of words. It's very, very difficult to wage peace through words, you know. And a peacenik is the first casualty when something like Jadhav happens. A peacenik is the first casualty, which even the Prime Minister himself as the peacenik was when Pathankot was attacked. But this doesn't mean that we stop the efforts. Even if there is darkness, as Sudhindra Kulkarni said at today's function.
Has learnt, and I can tell you with some authority, has learnt that he was betrayed. And therefore, he decided on teaching a muscular lesson to Pakistan. We conducted on our own soil, unfortunately, sir, a surgical strike on our own soil, which is actually POK. I hate to think of it as enemy territory, but unfortunately, it's been grabbed from us, excuse me. And we have a situation where this government, where the parliament today resolved to almost declare Pakistan a terror state. I don't know, sir, if you heard, a large number of our MPs got up and said we must declare Pakistan a terror state. So therefore, I'm asking you, sir, what difference does it make to give a terror state a long rope? I don't understand this, sir. I might be speaking for a minority of one, but I'd rather be speaking for a minority of one. Colonel RSN, what is it going to get us, sir? I'm asking you, simple question. We are being told that we must engage. What is it going to get us, sir?
Rahul, down the jihadi line, Pakistan has moved much, covered much distance. Today, it is the main, it is the epicenter of global jihad. And if I may tell, my former boss from RSN is there. sir, if I may tell you that, you know, in 2008, in December, when UN resolution was passed against Jamaitul Dawa, it was said that they are affiliates of Al-Qaeda. We know the links between, you know, Al-Qaeda and you know, various groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed. Also, you know, the Lal Masjid, the Saminul Haq Seminary, the Binaris Seminary. And sir, do you know, sir, I have definite information that the Islamic State is operating in Pakistan out of the Frontier Corps barracks, sir. The Islamic State apparatus was set up in Peshawar by a teamwork of the Pakistan ISI and Hafiz Saeed, sir, Lashkar-e-Toiba. So I get an assessment that, sir, the Pakistan military is nothing but it is the main, it is a part, very much part of the Al-Qaeda, sir.
Absolutely.
So when you talk of, you know, talks with
Dulat
Pakistan,
let me tell you.
For God's sake, whom do you talk to?
You talked about a disgrace.
For God's sake, whom do you talk to?
One second. Colonel, understand. The disgrace is that Pakistan depends on a confession.
Which does not exist.
Dulat Saab, let me just 1 second. I'll pose you this question. I'm picking up on your words, sir, and your sentiments. You said there's a disgrace going on in Jammu and Kashmir. I understand, sir, you're passionate tonight. But the disgrace is that Pakistan depends on a confession, a mere confession, without any other proof to pass the death penalty against an innocent Indian citizen. But disregards confessions, Mr. Dulat, disregards confessions when it comes to punishing Hafiz Saeed, the man who actually perpetrates terror in Kashmir. How do you explain this to me?
You see, sometimes you talk about, you know, this evening's function. Sometimes you jump to Jammu and Kashmir. Sometimes you go back to Hafiz Saeed and Al-Qaeda. What exactly are you trying to get to?
So we are being told...
What is the point that we are discussing? What is this discussion all about? Like Mr. Vinod Sharma said, you know, it's very, very difficult. All right, so you're against all peaceniks, you're against all talks, you're against peace in its totality. So why don't we just blow up Pakistan? I think that is the easiest solution to India and Pakistan. Well, just blow it off the face of the earth.
We took a step in that direction, sir. I hope it doesn't come to that.
Is war a realistic option?
All I'm saying is that at some point in time...
No, but tell me,
I'll tell you.
Is war a realistic
you,
option?
Mr. Dulat,
Do you think it's not been considered in the past?
I think the time
has you
come
tell me
when
this.
we don't reward,
not been
when we don't reward Pakistan's terror with talks, with other approaches, with other approaches. It's very simple. I can't seem to understand.
Why Rahul, when I was mentioning about Al-Qaeda, I was actually talking...
If he didn't want peace.
Yeah, Mr. Dulat, go ahead.
Why did Prime Minister Modi go to Raiwind over Christmas, what was it, 2015?
Yeah. He changed his mind thereafter, sir, when he realized the futility.
Was he not seeking peace? Was he not seeking good relations with Pakistan?
He was, but then he changed his mind. He realized that there is no pulling Pakistan back, because today Pakistan is sold down the toilet of an Islamic terror, and there is no coming back. It's a revanchist state. That's what it is.
Do you know, nothing has changed in the last 14, 15 months that you're talking about. Nothing has changed in Pakistan. When Prime Minister Modi went to Pakistan, it was the same Pakistan that we are talking about today.
I agree with you. I'm not denying it. But he embarked on a mission. He's realized since then that there are irredeemable qualities about Pakistan, and nothing is going to change till they are taught the lesson in some way or the other. He's tried a surgical strike. He is not talking to them anymore. I don't know of any diplomatic conversations that are taking place, sir, in the full glare of the cameras. We haven't had a constructive dialogue. You know better than I. So I'm asking you, sir, how does talking to the very people that
Rahul,
the Indian state is boycotting further peace?
Rahul,
whether it is in Kashmir or anywhere else, Mr. Dulat, that's the question. And aren't we doing a disservice?
You see the question. Yeah. Well, I believe that talking is the only way out of this. There is no other way. You know, if you know of a better way, then please let me know, enlighten me. And please also let me know why it has not been used. And when do you expect it to be used? Why has Pakistan not been blown off the face of the earth?
Rahul, can I come in?
Yeah. Colonel RSN wants to respond to you. Let him respond. Yes, go ahead.
No, my only contention is...
What is this, a free-for-all or what?
Do you speak to global jihadis? Do you speak to the military intelligence establishment? Do you speak to politicians who don't...
Who did Prime Minister Modi go and speak to?
If it is within the capacities of some people to change the global jihadi discourse of Pakistan or change the Wahhabi discourse, by all means, sir. By all means, sir, please go ahead. I want to see a change, sir. I'm also a peacenik in that way. We all want to see peace, sir. We don't want victims, like Kulbhushan Jadhav, sir. So if you have within your capacity to change the ideological discourse of Pakistan, it is going for worse, sir. Sir, have you noticed this, this Rahul Sharif heading the 39-member Sunni military alliance, sir, and what the peacenik of Pakistan, the former NSA Durrani has said? He said that it will further the cause of Ummah and Muslim unity, sir. So if you have the capacity to change the discourse, by all means, sir, but I'm telling you, sir, I may be wrong, we get carried away by these English-speaking, tie and boot walas of Pakistan. Actually, sir, their hearts are same as, the worst jihadis of Pakistan. They may be Islamic State, I told you. That how Islamic State has been established, they are nothing but, part of the Al-Qaeda or the Islamic State in shirt and tie, sir. Don't get carried away by
Vinod Sharma wants to
of these shirt and boot walas of Pakistan, sir.
Mr. Vinod Sharma wants to respond to you, Colonel RSN. Yes, go ahead.
With all respect, I'm not in agreement with some of the things which are being said here. One thing I want to tell you, Rahul, that in last month, in March, 3 members of Parliament went to Pakistan to attend the Asian Parliamentary Assembly there. And 2 of them have direct allegiance with the BJP. And I spoke to one of them because none of the TV channels reported anything about that conference.
We did.
I asked them, what was it
Times
about?
Now did. We opposed it. We opposed it. Out of hand.
No, please listen to me. Please, you may have opposed it. But they said, on their return, that there was a move to raise Kashmir at that forum. And these 3 members of Parliament, one representing the Congress and 2 the BJP, could successfully neutralize that attempt. At times, you have to engage with people to make your point emphatically, forcefully, to show reason to them, because you can't leave platforms
Vinodji, how many days back was this?
To your adversary just like that.
How many days back was this?
This was in March, last month.
There you go. A month later, their reward, Pakistan's reward, is a death sentence for an innocent Indian. That's where the talks got us.
They don't
That's
link
where
it.
this...
Rahul, please. Rahul, can I make a point?
No, diplomacy got us. It's a fact. It's a fact, sir.
No, please. Rahul, please listen to me.
Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, sir, you told me, Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, you covered him, goes to Lahore, gets stabbed in the back. You then have a second conversation, you have 26/11. Several terror attacks followed after Agra. You know what I'm talking about, sir. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh goes there, you have all sorts of LOC, cross-LOC outrages. You have a Prime Minister who goes to Rawalpindi, and guess what happens after that? Pathankot. When are we going to learn?
No, Rahul,
and today the discourse is changing.
Rahul,
today the discourse is changing.
Rahul,
today
can I make a point?
Is falling back on asymmetric warfare. Hopefully, sir, we will give asylum.
Allow me to have some words.
We will give asylum.
May I say one thing, Rahul? Rahul, I've heard you. May I say one thing? there are certain instrumentalities of statecraft which cannot be abandoned. And it is for that reason that you have a mission of Pakistan in India and an Indian mission in Pakistan.
Yeah.
It is for that reason that you have ambassadors of that country here and our country there. It is for that reason that there is no visa ban on the arrival of Pakistanis in India and the visits of Indians to Pakistan. Please understand that. You cannot take a maximalist position on these issues.
Well, sir,
you cannot restrict the elbow room for governments to experiment.
The United States
for
of America
governments to experiment.
Plenty of
and if we do that, we'll pay,
and had their way, including with Pakistan,
you
sir.
See, if we don't engage with Pakistan, we will actually be risking the life of Kulbhushan Jadhav.
Every big terrorist
we can save
who has
Jadhav by engaging with them, by raising public expectations within Pakistan, by carrying out a campaign internationally.
America has done
Please
this with Iran.
That.
America has done this with the biggest dictators around. You have had a situation when all sorts of measures have been used, like suspending diplomatic ties to bring another country to the table. We have seen it, sir. It's happened many times. And I'm only using the example of America as the most obvious, but it's happened with Britain, it's happened with several other lesser powers, sir, and they've done it effectively. Anyhow, I don't want to drum on and on, but the fact of the matter is, and I want to come back to you, Mr. Saifuddin Soz. Mr. Saifuddin Soz, the National Conference today came out and said, don't blame the judicial system. Don't blame the judicial system of Pakistan for handing out the death sentence to the two individuals in the last 10 years.
You can't, that is...
No, I'm asking you a question.
Rahul, it is no good, But I am telling you something, Rahul, going to the extreme is no good. As Vinod Sharma and Mr. Dulat were telling you, these are voices of reason. And
voices of reason.
I would advise you not to go to the extreme.
Abdul Basit is the voice of reason.
Add fuel to the fire.
Abdul Basit is the voice of reason, sir.
No, we must know.
Qualify that.
We
Explain to me, how is Abdul Basit, who declares Jadhav a terrorist, a voice of reason? Simple.
Have patience.
No, tell me.
You talk too much. You talk too much.
Sir, मैं आपसे सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ.
Listen to me. Keep quiet and listen to me. We must. नहीं, आप जवाब नहीं सुनना चाहते हैं. Don't go to the extreme, because you can add fuel to the fire. I must tell you, we can't change the neighborhood. And I look to future of hope, future of fulfillment, future of cordiality with Pakistan, because ultimately Pakistan and India have to come together for understanding and
let me ask you,
continue.
Mr. Soz, you said you said that you spoke to voice of reason from Pakistan. I'm asking you, straight question, how is Abdul Basit the voice of reason? A man who within hours of meeting you says that Mr. Jadhav is a terrorist. How is that a reasonable? How is that a reasonable position? How is that a voice of reason?
You don't allow guests to speak. If you
बताइए sir, मैं आपसे सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ.
You would see what Kusuri said. You must understand. Why do you mention Basit?
I only know what Mr. Basit said. He was there. He was the second Pakistani envoy, metaphorically speaking.
That is a great voice of reason.
Mr. Dulat, is he a voice of reason? I'm asking you. Is the Pak High Commissioner a voice of reason?
Did you
succeed in changing his mind?
What did he say?
You can suggest anything.
Is the Pakistani High Commissioner a voice of reason?
What did he say? What has he said?
A voice of reason.
Reasonable opinion.
He is the High Commissioner. What did he say? I'm asking you.
He said Mr. Jadhav is a terrorist.
I was not there at this conference that you're talking about. What did he say?
Mr. Jadhav is a terrorist and he deserves the sentence that he has got.
I've already said this on Karan Thapar show, that by no stretch of imagination could Kulbhushan Jadhav have been a terrorist.
So how
I've already said that on record.
So aren't you rewarding?
Why are you asking me the same question again?
Aren't you then, sir, rewarding Mr. Dulat by engaging an element who is not the voice of reason? Aren't you rewarding, sir, his unreasonableness? That's the fundamental question. Why have this engagement with unreasonable people from Pakistan? Why give them a platform to insult India, abuse our citizens?
If you Rahul, you know, I've known you for a long time, and I don't want to go into all that. But if you want to take that extreme position, why do we have a High Commissioner here at all? What is the need for a relationship with Pakistan?
Seriously?
I want to ask you this question.
I believe
in the past we've broken off relations with Pakistan. Why do we need a relationship
I believe
with
we should suspend diplomatic ties because
so you should advise the government on that.
Needs to be designated a terror state.
Yeah, so you should advise the government on that.
Well,
can I come in here?
I'm hoping through these debates, I'm hoping that someone in government picks up this thread somewhere and does something about it.
Can I say something?
There was a bill that was sought to be introduced, a private member's bill. I hope Parliament rises to the occasion, listens sometimes to public opinion. Pakistan's top ministers come out and confessed in Parliament that they sentenced a man to death, Kulbhushan Jadhav, to death on the basis of a mere confession. The trial was so secret that even Parliament did not know about it. The leader of the opposition in their Parliament, their lower house, said that we had no clue, we were not told, we had no idea that we were holding a citizen and we were trying him and going to be charging him with a crime so extreme as to warrant the death penalty. The Pakistan envoy calls Jadhav a terrorist even though the country's military has convicted him on the basis or for espionage, for spying. How are the two related? No one knows. Pakistan sets unacceptable preconditions to allow India consular access. Says, first you acknowledge that this man in our captivity, Kulbhushan Jadhav, is in fact a terrorist, is in fact a spy who was conspiring to bring down Pakistan. Then we will give you consular access, which is by law the rightful interest of anyone being held in custody. That's how rotten the judicial system in Pakistan is. That's how absolutely attenuated the processes in Pakistan are. Aren't these the actions of a rogue state? That's the fundamental question we are posing tonight. And with me is Major General GD Bakshi, leading defense analyst, and barrister Hafiz Saeed, former diplomat from Islamabad. Sir, how does Pakistan today not fit the description of a terror state, a rogue state that pays no obeisance to any law on this country except the law of might? Simple question to you.
I can't hear you.
Simple question, sir. Is Pakistan a rogue state that has actually defied international law to hand out a death sentence to an Indian innocent citizen? Simple question.
May I answer the question?
I can. Go ahead.
The present state of relations between India and Pakistan is most unfortunate. But this said and done, I would like to tell you that Pakistan has acted strictly in accordance with international law in this matter. And I will quote to you the law as stated in Oppenheim's international law. And I'll just make a short quotation so that you realize that all this accusation of murder and this is all rubbish. Now, this is what it says on page 386, 7th edition. The provisions of the Convention of 1929 relating to penal and disciplinary sanctions against prisoners were found in practice to be incomplete. Accordingly, the Convention of 1949 has given considerable elaboration to the matter. Generally, the prisoner is subject to the law in force in the armed forces of the detaining power. So it is the Pakistani armed forces law that has to prevail in these circumstances. And again, on page 425...
what kind of armed force doesn't give the right of self-defense to the person it is putting on trial?
Please let me finish.
No, let me ask you this question.
Please let me finish. Look,
The usual punishment for spying is hanging
I'm
or
not
shooting.
talking about punishment.
No, less severe
I'm talking about the right to self-defense. Surely, in every country that goes by the law, a person is allowed to defend himself. Is allowed to defend himself.
Must be tried before a court-martial. Please don't interrupt. So we have followed court-martial procedure.
Except that you've forgotten to allow the man to defend himself.
Yeah, of course we have. He has admitted before a magistrate that Raw sent him, that he carried out
you slap around a couple of people.
That people...
You torture them and they'll admit to anything and everything if that's the case.
And
so Ajmal Amir Kasab, barrister, Ajmal Amir Kasab has confessed that he was trained by Hafiz Saeed and Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi. Why don't you hang those two individuals for terror? Tell me, if a confession is all it takes.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So
produce the evidence.
We produced it. There's a confession statement. It was made to a magistrate.
Of law,
excuse me, it was made to a magistrate, sir.
But you sitting at home or in a drawing room saying someone is guilty is not enough. You have to.
Arey Baba, Barrister Saab from Pakistan.
Even your saying is not enough.
Confession statement made to a magistrate. Due process is followed. He is named Hafiz Saeed, the terrorist. Why do you keep him in a guest house and why do you preserve gallows for Kulbhushan Jadhav? Simple question. Hang the man. Hang Hafiz Saeed.
Yadev. Pakistan has acted within the international law.
Sir, I hope you're not reading the book upside down.
The international court.
Sir, this is Oppenheimer, not Closeheimer. Please, I hope you're not reading this book upside down. Are you reading the entire law upside down, sir? What kind of bizarre logic is this? Confession works in one country, confession doesn't work in another country. What kind of Oppenheimer law is this?
When he has killed, when he says...
Well, so is Ajmal Kasab. Ajmal Kasab says he is killed because he was ordered to do so by Lakhvi. Why is Lakhvi producing children in guest houses, sir? I'm asking you this question. What kind of law is this?
So your government is involved.
I'm asking you.
Your government is involved in
your detention of Lakhvi was such a sham that he was... that he was actually allowed to have relations with various women and produce children. How is this possible? What kind of sham setup do you run there? Excuse me, I want to bring in General Bakshi on this point. General Bakshi is quoting Oppenheimer's law, forgetting that people actually have a right to defend themselves. He's proving the point.
But
excuse me, Barrister, kindly listen now. We have heard you with patience. We have heard you with patience. Listen to the other side. All right. Now let me give you, in any jurisprudence system, Barrister, we do not give the death sentence where there is an iota of doubt. Your own Foreign Affairs Advisor, Sartaj Aziz, made a statement to your Senate, made a statement to your Parliament, and then went on television to state, we have no evidence against Kulbhushan Jadhav apart from his confessional statement which was extracted under torture. Look, here in the instant case, it has been a flagrant violation of all norms of international behavior. You abduct an Indian citizen from Chabahar, you take him to Balochistan, you torture him to get fraud confessions, then you put him in front of a kangaroo military court, which duly in a camera trial held in camera, gives him the sentence of death for a crime that he... For what international law?
Exactly.
For what international law? Even in a military court, you are talking to a soldier. You are talking to a soldier.
Parliament will do so. I'm wrapping up this.